there Spurs fans, Vicky here for Project Spurs. It's been 3 weeks since our last episode and I wish I had better news, but the reality is that these past 3 weeks have been horrendous for the Spurs. Since we last spoke, the Spurs have gone 4-8, which is hardly what any Spurs fan would like to see at this point in the season. The defensive struggles they experienced early on in the season have not improved, and though their performance on offense is somewhat promising, they lack the consistency for that stellar offense to actually make them a threat. I'm going to be completely honest with you. This Spurs team is in a lot of trouble. A quarter of the way into the season, and they're still struggling to get into a rhythm with each other. Plus, LaMarcus Aldridge's point average is currently the second to last worst of his career, only ahead of his worst scoring season, which was 2 years ago. As you all know, LA won me over last season when he showed San Antonio that he could lead and be depended on as a go-to guy. However, this season, he has yet to step it up and continue to be that stronghold for the silver and black. This Spurs team needs the kind of leadership that LaMarcus Aldridge showed last year when he averaged 23.1 points per game and 8.5 rebounds per game. While he is averaging a double-double with 10.8 rebounds a game, his 17.7 points a game are not enough, especially when realizing the potential that he has as a player. Additionally, many have noted that it's been difficult for Aldridge adjusting to playing at the role of center more than he has ever had to in his entire career. However, I'm not completely sure that this is the extent of the issue with the Spurs' struggles. In their first 9 games, the Spurs were 6-3, which is not all too impressive, but they had just gone on a 4-game win streak and they suffered a loss in Orlando at the end of those 9 games. On their 10th game, Derek White made his return to the lineup. While I think White is a talented young player, this is where the decline truly began for the Spurs. Since White's return, the Spurs have gone 4-9. Now, I'm not saying that Derek White is the sole reason for the Spurs' struggles since his return, but something obviously changed and shifted in the lineup, and it really looks like it threw off the chemistry of the team from that point on. Since White began starting, the Spurs have declined in 2 very important categories. Let's take a look at the comparison of before and after White's return. In the 9 games before White's return, as I stated before, the Spurs had 6 wins and 3 losses and were averaging a field goal percentage of 46.3%. They also had 24.8 assists per game. In the 13 games since White's return, the Spurs are averaging slightly less with 44.2% field goals a game and 22.6 assists. In my opinion, the starting 5 of LaMarcus Aldridge, Dante Cunningham, Rudy Gay, DeMar DeRozan, and Bryn Forbes was much more effective at getting the games going during the first part of the season. Being a point guard in this league is a really tough task to manage, and though Derek White has potential, he isn't proving that he's ready to start at such an integral role for this struggling Spurs team. Overall, there's just so much confusion. I don't understand how this team could perform pretty well early in the season and regress to 10 wins and 12 losses at a quarter of the way through the regular season. LaMarcus Aldridge, DeMar DeRozan, and Rudy Gay all look depleted. They, as well as the rest of the team, look like they're feeling sorry for themselves, and I have no idea why. I have no clue. They have talent, they have ability, but they've been unable to snap out of this terrible slump. After their second straight blowout loss, head coach Greg Popovich said, "We are obviously discombobulated on offense. A lot of that has to do with me, so I have to do a better job there. Defensively, we obviously have to shore up our effort and our wisdom at that end. So we have a lot of work to do." I'm not sure what they're going to do, but I do know that Greg Popovich is still the best coach in the league, and Spurs fans are just going to have to stand by their team with the hope that they can come back and compete like they're proud to be wearing silver and black. The Spurs will try to bounce back from back-to-back blowout losses, the first of which I'm sad to say I was at, on Sunday night against the Portland Trail Blazers in San Antonio. For Project Spurs, I'm Vicky Villarreal Grajeda.